Hi guys.
Everybody. So today is President's Day and Kevin has a day off, so we're just gonna try to get our subfloor done. This morning we went to Home Depot, picked up some more pieces of plywood and some hybrid liquid nail stuff. So we're just gonna get at it.
Okay, so for the subfloor, what we're using are these like 3/4 inch by 1.5 inch, or no, 3/4 inch by like 1/2 inch furring strips. We've already put the water sealant, water repellent, water resistant, mold resistant sealer on all of them. Then we're going to put them in the van and glue them down.
Don't mind the mess. Our garage also acts as a storage place for 2 businesses, and a hangout spot, and a home gym, and a ping pong table, and a mini quad.
So this is the waterproofer that we decided to go with from Vermont Natural Coatings. We decided to go with this one because it's obviously all natural. There's no toxic chemicals in this because we're going to be living in this van. We don't want any sort of chemicals bleaching through the wood and us consuming them via our lungs.
So for the subfloor, we're going to put 9 little furring strips on the base of the van, and we're going to liquid nail that down. And then that will create like our... well, it creates spacing, but it's more like our foundation, just so we're not stepping on like the uneven parts of the van and the floor's not getting warped. And then from there, we'll insulate in between those pockets that it'll create, that pattern. That way we have floor insulation, and we'll cover that with some plywood. And then that will be like our complete subfloor. And then we'll do our vinyl plank, I don't even know what kind of floor it is, but vinyl flooring on top of that, in a little bit further down the build after we see what we need to put after, like wheel boxes and things like that too.
So what we're also doing is that here, where like the main walkway is going to be, we're going to put little tiny wood planks in between each plank. That way there's more stability as we're walking through, like right up until in this area. That way there's a little more strength coming in this way and down the walkway.
For 2 humans.
And 2 pups.
And 2 pups. Did you see that 3rd human?
I did. Put it away. We don't need that right now. Okay, so months ago we made this template out of cardboard. And the way that ProMasters are set up, that the wheel wells are mirrored and reflected on both sides, so that way one template is the same for the front and the back. So this will just slide into here, and it's like a perfect little cut on this side. And this side is the same. And then flip it this way, and it's also the same. So now we're going to take this, and we're going to put it on our, like this brown board we got from Home Depot. It's super thin, super like flexible. That way the template can turn into another template, and once we know that that wood fits good, we'll throw it on the plywood and throw it in here after everything's glued, obviously.
Sounds great. Let's do it. So while you're doing these kinds of things, Dad said it's a good tip to do a scrap box where you keep all like the miscellaneous chops, and then we're just being organized and putting all of our other pieces in there so we know where to find them when we're ready. But it's perfectly! That's pretty freaking good for a cardboard makeshift template.
So the thing about this liquid nails for these furring strips here is that it has to cure for 24 like full hours without being disturbed. We don't live that kind of like lifestyle where the van cannot be moved for that long, like right now. So we're gonna have to wait until later in the week to actually glue them down. So what we're doing now is, since the hardwood like template fit perfect, we're just gonna go ahead and cut all the plywood that we need, and then put that same waterproofer on the plywood. That way come Thursday, Friday-ish, we can lay everything down, glue it down, and be ready to go.
So somehow in the transferring process of getting it into the van and like laying flat with the other piece, something happened. So we're cutting again. It's gonna work this time.
Yes. Like a glove.
It's like a glove. That's so bomb. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
Hell yeah.
That's perfect.
And don't worry, like this may look a little jank.
What does? That doesn't look jank. It looks professional from this angle.
We're covering it with wood, with wheel boxes.
Yeah, our wheel boxes, we didn't put too much care into those because the wheel box is going to cover that area anyways. Dad! Nice!
Yeah. All right, that's good shit.
Yeah.
And that is our subfloor!
Much later.
Hello. Kevin just got home from work and I decided that I wanted to work on the van today, so guess what we're doing?
It's been several weeks actually.
Yeah, last thing we did was, with our friend, glue down all of these strips to support our plywood subfloor. And we did that with our friend and he helped us lift all of the heavy stuff, and shout out to Jose for being a big help. But we've been kind of really busy and haven't had a chance to do pretty much anything on the van, so today I got really tired of not doing anything and we're taking a trip at the end of this month and I figured it was time to get some stuff done.
So like she showed before, this is what the Havelock wool that we decided to go with looks like.
It smells like
a goat.
It smells, I mean, yeah. It smells like wool. It smells like a literal farm, like which is kind of cool, I guess.
But the reason, do you want to tell them why we went with this?
So versus other installations, I mean, I don't know all the proper stuff. I just know it's the least non-toxic. And we're trying to do everything natural as we can, as we're going to be living in this small space. So that would be awesome. This morning I pulled all the plywood pieces that we had out. So I started coating them with this, but I ran out about halfway through, like 60% through. So since the pieces were already out, I figured I'd use this to vacuum out the van, make sure there's no plant pieces from Casa Green in there, and just put the wool down because they're already out. So they have to come out again and we can just skip that step on that day and make it a shorter day. So yeah. 1% at a time. Or like 5, but 1%.
Same.
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna take forever. This is not how this was intended to go.
What do you mean? It literally said to do it this way. Piece of cake! If anyone could tell, I'm usually the one who's like happy and positive about it, just working out, and
it's, you know, as I wave this knife around, she's also very into 5 times the work. Look, let's take a look. Let's take a look in here. You think it's working out good?
You do not? Like, it took me way longer to cut it with scissors. Okay. You're half glass empty and they need to be half glass full.
I'm not half glass empty. I am, let's fill the glass once instead of 30 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, once this is done, it's done.
Oh.
Once.
Once, she says.
Come on, baby, teamwork.
Teamwork.
Wow! We're doing it!
Well, you guys get the gist. We're gonna come back when, like, we're halfway or almost done. Save the battery a little bit. Got the first little set cut. We're gonna lay them down. We're noticing that it's super easy to mold, which is good. In case some are too big, some are too small, it'll fit perfectly right in there. Look at this. It's like
How long do you think that took, babe? Like
15 minutes maybe.
20, maybe.
Looks like clouds.
Looks like clouds, smells like a farm.
So now it's actually ripping with our hands.
Which
it wasn't before.
It wasn't. We tried, but okay. But we're just gonna fill in these little gaps, and then I started tossing some down there, the thinner pieces, And we'll just fill that, and then we'll put the plywood back on top, and that will keep it snug, and we'll just see how that goes for the next couple of days.
Yeah, so we'll be ripping them apart, kind of like how G's doing now, and just stuffing it
But
in all,
fluffing it.
yeah, and fluffing it and stuffing it in all these crevices all along the van. Even those down there too, everywhere. Every little hole you see will have some sort of Havelock wool in it to keep us toasty.
Honestly, I'm like sitting on this right now and it's already like super toasty. I'm really excited. Ah! Yay!
That's nuts. You know, this video is gonna be a long one, I think, just because it's been so long in the making. I feel like we've been doing the floor for the past like 5-6 months.
Well, for those who don't know, we use the van to transport everything that my business like needs to farmers markets every week, like multiple times a week, like 2 to 4 times a week. So it's hard to get things done in the van when you have to constantly unload and load and unload and load and unload and load. So they just decided it was gonna be a day.
Probably when we come back to you next. When we come back to you next, I don't know if we'll be showing a whole bunch of like putting the wool like inside the walls, because I'm sure you guys get the gist.
Well,
But
this is what happens. You like take the wool and you kind of just fluff it, and then you stuff it and just try to keep it like fluffed, like in all the crevices. And that's it. That's the gist.
yeah, that's the gist. So that's what we'll be doing to the rest of it. I'm sure when we come back to you guys, we will be plywood will be back down, and then we'll be putting the, what's it called? The vinyl. We'll be laying all the vinyl down, kind of laying it out how we want like the directionals to be.
2 weeks later.
So Kevin is out of town for a work trip today, and we're leaving for California on Saturday night. So I'm trying to get the floor in. Wish me luck. Okay, so it's a little bit more closer to 8 o'clock at night, and I ran to Home Depot to get this tool, which is gonna help me push the floor down levelly and make sure it's all like sealing really well. And yeah, it's super windy outside. I have these LED lights that I actually bought for Costa Green that we haven't used, but they're magnetic, so they stick to the top of the van wall perfectly. And I have to arrange this on the chalk line I did earlier today, and it's gonna be a fun night, but this is what you do when you want to get it done. So here we go. Hey everybody, so this is actually the next day now, and I just got back from California from picking up plants for my business and some other stuff, but last night all I did was try to narrow down a pattern, which I still can't decide on, and Kev has given me free rein, so if the floor looks wonky, you know it was me. So I'm going to try to lay this all down right now, get it sticked in. That way tomorrow when I'm transporting stuff for the biz, it's all in there, and I can get working on the bed frame for this weekend. So yeah, it's gonna be a busy one. Let's do it.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Alright, so we know you guys never saw the finished product of the floor, and that's because the next day we left to go on a California trip, and we got to experience the floor firsthand. And shortly after that as well, we realized that the floor, because they're individual strips, start to begin to separate and get like crummies and sand and gunk all in between them. And especially after that summer, it was kind of really gross to just look at the floor and see the cracks, and like I was kind of worried about water spilling or anything like that and getting to our subfloor. So we scratched that, we kept the floor in, and we got a vinyl roll, which I'm standing on right now. The vinyl roll is all one piece. We got it from Home Depot, and we just cut it around the edges to fit perfectly around the van, and we like it a lot because it matches our ceiling. So all in all, we would not recommend the individual sheets of vinyl flooring at all. And 10 out of 10 would always recommend the vinyl roll.
It was incredibly easy to put in. We decided not to nail it in. We used like this adhesive tape.
Like a carpet tape.
And we figured that all the furniture would help hold it down.
And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Tell someone you love them.
And like, comment, share, subscribe, all the things.
Catch you next week.
For the next one.
Whatever it is.
Oh, and don't mind, we're a little further in the build right now than what you're seeing in this video.
Yeah.
So keep watching. Bye. So, hope you enjoyed this video.
Tell someone you love them. I forgot our outro.
I'm gonna use a massage.
What if we just did everything like this?
I think it'd be kind of cool.
Look how clear our skin is.
Did you already say tell someone you love them?
Yep.
Oh, well. Like this video, subscribe, share with a friend, you know, support the folks.
We have to redo this.
Okay.